Face off just outside the Calgary line. Trevor Linden again on there for Vancouver. Waved out apparently. Slow getting the stick down. It is Nordmark, or no, it's Adams who will take the face-off. Flames won it. It's tipped down across the line. Butcher moving back against Otto. Here comes Smeal. His pass dropped up the line to Linden. Linden got it in front. Oh, Vernon got a piece of that. A good play by Linden to move it over in front of the net, right in the crease. McClellan stepping out over his own line. Smeal after him. He backhands it in. It goes to the net where McLean stopped it. Flames are in forechecking. They're a little more physical with their forechecking than are the Canucks at this stage. McGinnis sees Popinski alone. He gets it up to Nieuwendyk. Nieuwendyk centered in McClellan. And a save by McLean on the short side. Here's Bradley. Bradley stepping out smartly. He's the center and shoots it from there, and it's in. Canucks make changes as the Flames go back for it. Puck gets by Nordmark and down to Lidster. Lidster turns, played it ahead. Sutter is stopped. Here's Lube. In with Roberts. Lube to Roberts. It didn't work. Lube went after it on the boards. Bradley trying to get it out. Does. Poked at the center. Slapped back in by Nieuwendyk. Nieuwendyk stopped Bradley from moving on it. Lube turns, shoots it from center ice. McLean out of the net. Nordmark was back to give it to Sutter. Sutter's pass going by Bradley, but moving up again is Lidster. Squeako throws it off to the left to Bradley. Bradley gets it back into the corner. Squeako trying to hook it with a skate. Sutter went in there to help. Squeako now trying to get loose. And it's Gilmore coming up with the puck. To center ice, Gilmore coming in. Gilmore trying to deke the defenseman but can't. And Sutter was skating back all the way. He got it up to center. Flames shoot it in again. Butcher comes back, takes it from the netminder, McLean. Little over 7 minutes in the first overtime period. Up to center is Smith. Picking a hole, shoots. Build a high one, and Vernon. He has made sensational saves in his overtime. He's not about to let one go past him from the blue line.
Surprised Doug Smith didn't try and go around Merzen. He had a full head of speed up, and Merzen was more or less standing still. He elected to let the wrist shot go, and as you said, the way Mike Vernon's played, he's not going to let in one from there.
We had mentioned that the Flames finished 43 points ahead of the Vancouver Canucks. So if Vancouver should win this, you'd have to say it's one of the biggest upsets ever in Stanley Cup play. 7 years ago, remember, Los Angeles defeated Edmonton in the fourth, coming back from a 5-0 lead to win it. And they were 48 points apart that year. So anything can happen. Surely in sudden in overtime. Canucks on the draw, had a chance to move in. Tandy did not. Anderson gets it ahead to Mullen. Mullen got it across the line, but he is offside, and the play is called.
Mullen is so good with his feet. We saw that the last game here. On his goal, he kicked it up there. He tried the same thing. He did not have control of the puck as he went across the blue line. That's why that was blown down by Gord Russell.
The tension in the building, of course. Just look at some of the fans. No more fingernails. Terry Crisp running on a ball point. His nerves must be frayed. Not to mention the cannon on the other bench. Flames come back. Patterson deep. Couldn't get it by Lidster. He kept it in, rolled it in wide of the net. Sandlak is going in. Mullen gets it up to Gilmore. Gilmore is leading a rush again here in overtime. He shoots it in, and McLean fired it away. Here's McClellan. Scores! The net is off the Magnets. No goal. No goal. The net was not off the Magnets. The puck was shot from inside the line, but the net Wednesday night. No goal.
McCrary waved that one off immediately. There was no doubt about this one, and there's not much complaining from the Calgary bench. That was definitely off before McCowan even wound up to take that shot. McLean plays it off the boards. There goes Patterson into McLean. Knocks the net off. There's the shot from McCowan.
The net was dislodged, no question. And the puck comes in after. So we've solved nothing yet. 6:18 left in the first overtime period. Face off to the right of McLean. 44-39 are the shots in this hockey game. There have been some goalies. McCown tries it again, and it's stopped by McLean. That shot through traffic. You never know with the crowd in front of the net. And McCown decided he'd try it from the blue line. Linden couldn't stop his man. Tim Hunter from shooting it in. Here is Smeal and McCown bumping. Trevor Linden gets on the move. Linden coming up on Tim Hunter, dropped it in through the middle. The backhand shot is gloved by Vernon. And Vernon pulls it. Still 2-1 in Los Angeles. There's the score. And their 7th game. You'll see when this one is over. We'll keep you posted. Anything happens down there, we'll let you know. First period is over in LA now, we're told. So the LA Kings are 2 periods away from defeating the Edmonton Oilers. And Terry Crisp wonders how far his team is away from beating Trevor Linden and the Vancouver Canucks. Or will they? We'll see. That's what this is all about. Stanley Cup play. A lot of pressure. McCrimmon coming back to the side of the net, move it up to Patterson. He didn't see it. Otto did, though. Otto was stopped by Smeal. Reinhardt on the ice. Pass up on the right front for Smeal. He's going in on it all. Oh, again. Stan Smeal, the fiery captain of the Vancouver Canucks. The veteran, the experienced one. But Mike Vernon now makes this crowd over 20,000 feet. And well, they should be.
The Calgary played, they caught on a line change. I don't know how you get caught on a line change in overtime. Here's Stan Smeal all by himself. He tries to go high glove side, doesn't get it up high enough, and Mike Vernon makes the save. Here's the play. The Flames are changing. Smeal's all by himself. Comes in, puck sits down for him, tries to go high, doesn't get it up, and there's Vernon with that big left hand.
I don't know which of the saves Vernon has made here in overtime will go down as the save of the game. I think he can wrap them all together. Burke McLean gave it away to Loop. Sutter was there and he couldn't clear it out. Lidster hurried it off the glass. It does get out to center ice. Robert shoots it back in. And a long pass down to the line. Against Crico's shot. Gloved by Vernon. On that angle, Vernon covered it. Roberts, second chance to move it out by Bradley. Got it up to Nieuwendyk. He was across center ice, so that is offside. And they'll go back inside the Calgary line for the next face-off. Stan Smeal will wonder for a long time, should his team lose this game tonight, why he missed.
He has struggled in the scoring department this year. Had only 1 goal from January 7th till the end of the season. That was in the very last game. There he had a great chance. He had so much time and couldn't get it up.
Butcher from the blue line. High shot. Vernon saw it this time and grabbed it. McCown trying to gallop away. His pass. Stop. Here comes Tandy. He got a chance. Another great save. How can he keep doing this? Vernon makes another brilliant save with the glove. That shot was labeled on the short side. Oh, brother. seen goaltending under this kind of pressure. And Mike Vernon is showing us his stuff tonight. And it is some kind of stuff. Face off inside the line. 4:36 left of the overtime. Butcher shot. Knocked down. Adams. That's blocked. It's centered. Mullen coming out. One man back. Mullen coming in. He's got Nieuwendyk. And Nieuwendyk is stopped. But Mullen is on the puck again. Put it over in front of the Canucks. Will get out. 3 of them. His center is Tandy. Whipped a pass in before he hit center ice. So that'll be icing against Vancouver. 4:08 left in the first overtime period.
You really get the feeling that the Calgary Flames are hanging on. Mike Vernon has prolonged this past the 15-minute mark of overtime, and that he's been the only reason that this game series is not over.
They told me before we started this series that Vancouver likes to play a defensive-type game and look for their spots. Well, folks, they played a fine defensive-type game tonight. And I'll tell you, in this overtime period, every second, almost, was one of their spots to pick because they've been coming at Mike Vernon. He's had 44 shots, 45 by the Flames in this game so far. 4 minutes left in the first overtime. Puck down the ice, no icing this time. So Sandlak will race in there to give McGinnis some trouble. Mullen comes over on the boards. Patterson is there. The Canucks have it. Another chance there for Sandlak. He couldn't make the play. It's dumped in behind the net. McCrimmon, but the play had been called offside. Back at the blue line. That was close. But it was offside with 3:45 left. First period is over in Los Angeles. The Kings lead the Oilers 2-1 in their 7th win.
Look, this Canuck team, Jim Benning, another cast-off with a different organization. Played very well for the Canucks this year. Along with all those Calgary Flames that the Canucks picked up. Bozek, Reinhardt in particular.
Face off just outside the Calgary line. Lidster scored in 7:12 of the third to get us into overtime. And only 3:45 left in the first session. And the scoring chances we've had in overtime. Oh boy. Lidster now from center. Vernon gloved that. Merzen takes it around the net. Goaltenders tend to make the long shots routine. I don't think they are in overtime. Nothing routine. They sure look that way. Bozek is offside.
Imagine trying to pick 3 stars in this one. I'm glad I don't have to. Bob McCammon shouting encouragement to his team. They've really carried it to the Calgary Flames during the overtime. The Flames, they look tired. Bigger, stronger team, but they do look tired here in the overtime.
The pace that the Flames set earlier, I think, has slowed a bit. You're right. Maybe that's one reason the Vancouver Canucks are allowed to come at it a little more in this overtime. But the Flames have had chances too. Here's Butcher now bringing the puck over center. A long shot off the glass. It bounces around on the other side. Flames will clear it out. Down the ice it goes. The Pinsky goal is offside. Fans do not think so. It was back inside the Calgary line. Foot down across center. 3:10 left.
Terry Chris, being an ex-player, also can't vent that frustration, and I think the tendency is you try and do so much as a coach instead of letting the players try and decide it. You can see the anxiety on Terry Chris' face.
Linden, Smeal, and Adams again for Vancouver. Linden going after the puck in the corner. McCown got a piece of him. It's cleared outside the line. Butcher shoots it back in. McCrimmon picks it up to McCown. It's fired into the Vancouver zone. There goes Tim Hunter after it. But they catch him. Adams got back in time. Butcher against Popinski, who's trying to kick it loose. Tim Hunter back in the net, trying to dig it out front. He's covered. It comes in front of the goal. And Smeal brings it out as Linden covered the man in front. Linden feeding it up over the line. Offside called at the Calgary line. 2:33 left.
They have to be so careful on those passes from behind the net. That time they passed it, the Flames passed it out, and the Canucks turned it into a 3-on-2 because Joel Otto was tied up in front of the net.
Wonder did Bob McCannum tell him another joke at the start of overtime. It's been a habit of his through the series, as he says, to keep his team loose, going up against the first place Calgary Flames. It has worked. So far, they're in overtime. And only 2:25 left in the first overtime period. Here's Gilmore stealing it. He's centered it, but it's it. And that's blocked in front of the net and cleared along the line, but not out. The Canucks were a little shaky in their own zone. Again, still shaky. Gilmore, Mullen shot. That's blocked. A scramble for it. Gilmore again trying to go in. Mullen takes it. Fires off the boards, and it's Litster who'll clear it out of the zone and down the ice. Icing will be called when Merzen comes back. But the Canucks look very shaky on that last series.
They got the puck to Joey Mullen. That's who they wanted to have it. But it was blocked in front by Doug Litster.
Minute and 51 seconds left in the first overtime period here in Calgary.
Gilmore to Mullen. Here comes Lidster. Sacrifices the body and makes the great block in front of Kirk McLean.
This is a great chance for Calgary. They had the Canucks tied up inside the blue line. They're making changes now. We're set. 1:51 left. They win the draw. The Flames do McCrimmon's shot. It's blocked. Bridgman takes his time. Gets it ahead. Bozek rolled it into the zone, and Sandlak is going in after McCown, the goalie out. Clearing it along the boards. Sandlak feeds it over back of the net. Another chance for the Canucks with Bozek. He didn't see the pass. McCrimmon played it ahead. And they shoot it out across the line to center. Canucks dump it back in. 1:20 left in this first overtime period. McCown in the corner is bodied off the puck. Bozek comes in to help Bridgman. Bridgman gets loose. Tried to play it away from Nieuwendyk and could not. Nieuwendyk is grabbed and turned around. He got the puck out over the line, though. Roberts! He is alone, and the clean is out of the net to knock it away. Right a shot. Reinhart was back there into the final minute of this overtime period. And we've seen everything in this overtime session, but no goals. Lube shoots one in. They're after it again. Popinski going in. Score! The Calgary Flames have finally done it. Not a Pitchell goal. It was centered by Popinski. It hit a skate in front. And it's over. The Calgary Flames behind the goaltending of Mike Bryant will be unquestionably the star of this game. Defeat the Vancouver Canucks 4-3, scoring at give an extra grip on the handshake to these Canucks fellas because they weren't supposed to be here. Well, they were here. You know it better than we do up here. And they nearly kept going in these 89 playoffs. But Vernon made sensational saves in overtime to hold the Flames in until that goal by Otto at 1921. They finally credited to Otto from Lipinski and Lube at 1921. 46-45 the shots. Flames 4-3 the score. Flames. And this series is over. Calgary wins it. Here's Ron McLean.
Thank you very much, Bob. A sensational game in Calgary. 4-3 is the margin of victory in this contest and the series for the heavily favored Calgary Flames. Don Cherry is with me, and Don, your reaction.
Well, that's a tough way to lose, but I'll tell you one thing. I'm glad for Vernon because he's taken a lot of heat the last 2 years, and if he wasn't the #1 star, I don't know who is. And another thing, though, nobody's going to laugh at the Vancouver Canucks anymore. I think they've shown that they're a team to be reckoned with. Terry Crispin did a great job. So did Bob McCammon. Great hockey. That's what you call hockey, boy. That's beautiful.
Next goal wins. It is very Canadian, and the Canucks colors, as you suggest, looked awfully good in this series. Now let's return you to the Forum in Los Angeles and Don Whitman.
Thank you, Ron, and it's 2-1. The Los Angeles Kings leading the Edmonton Oilers as we prepare to start period 2. Wayne Gretzky got the Kings on the board just 52 seconds into the game. He broke out with Marty McSorley, used him as a decoy, let the shot go. Grant Fuhr had a trickle between his legs and into the net.
You can see the Oiler defenseman goes right to the other man. He doesn't even bother with Gretzky, anticipating the pass. Yari Curry on a 3-on-2 here, and it ends up being a 3-on-1 as Laidlaw is beaten. Curry gets one chance here, it's blocked, and then puts the second one in to make the score 1-1. Chris Contos scored the third goal, but it was a shot by number 9, Bernie Nichols, and Contos just put his stick up to protect himself, and it hit him and went in.
And Chris Contos is in the penalty box, 1:30 remaining in his penalty to start this second period. Messier picks it up in his own zone. That goal by Contos, his 6th power play goal. That is a series record in Stanley Cup play. Huddy pinches in from the point. Puck comes out to Messier. Messier trying to set something up. Back to the line to Curry. One times it, and Rudy makes the save. I think that puck, Harry, may have got up on edge on Yari Curry, and Rudy grabbed it and held on.
Well, it wasn't a hard shot, but I'm sure that Yari Curry just wanted to make sure to get it on the net because he did have some traffic in front. And he's telling Charlie Huddy right now, on the pass across, here's the pass to Curry, who one-times it, and you can see Carson was left alone by Laidlaw. There's Carson at the bottom right part of your screen. He tries to tip it. In fact, he may have tipped it, but he tipped it right into Kelly Rudy.
And we alert all the stations along the network that our next commercial break will be commercial number 12, a 30-seconder. On the power play, they score out front. And it is Craig Simpson getting the Oilers back on even terms with the power play goal.
Well, Simpson, who's had an awful series offensively with only 1 point, ties this game up from 10 or 15 feet in front of the net with a good quick shot. And let's have a look at it right here. They're on the power play. The pass out by Curry, and there's Simpson all alone. And he had Rudy at his mercy. Laidlaw tries to go from Simpson to block the pass from Curry, but Curry put it over his stick. And Simpson made no mistake about it.
Well, Yari Curry with a goal and an assist tonight has now moved into the number 2 position among all-time Stanley Cup playoff scorers, a point ahead of Jean Beliveau. There's a chance as Casper took a swipe at it after the initial save had been made by Fuhr on McSorley. Randy Gregg behind his own net. Lead pass for Simpson. He tried to get it over to Messier. It was broken up. Steve Smith brings it back. Smith for Edmonton. Looking for Anderson. Play broken up by Krushelnyski. Krushelnyski has it along the boards. Couldn't get it out, but then it deflects to McSorley. McSorley cutting into the slot. Dodges a check to Casper, and Grant Fuhr got a piece of that one. We're approaching the 2-minute mark of the second period. The score tied at 2. Each team has scored a power play goal. 15 power play goals have been scored so far in this series. And Chris Kontos leads them all with 6.
Kontos just broke a team record that was held by Marcel Dion and Butch Gorn. 7 goals in one series. He now has 8.
Kevin Lowe celebrating his 30th birthday today. Drives it in. Rudy leaves it back of the net. Played up along the boards. Kontos deflects it out into the center ice area. Curry flips it high into the Los Angeles zone. Rudy steers it to the corner for Kennedy. Along the boards for Kontos. He missed Allison on the right side with that long pass, and Craig Muni has it now in his own zone to Tikkanen. Looking for Curry. He couldn't accept the pass. Gretzky slides it along the boards for his defenseman who was racing in. It was broken up by the Oilers. They come back, drop pass to Curry. Curry centering it. Tikkanen couldn't get a stick on it. Back comes Gretzky. In across the line, Gretzky looking for Duchesne, who was coming into the play. The defenseman moving up, and it was fired down the ice, and an icing call against the Edmonton Oilers. And again, we remind our network that this is commercial number 12. We'll be back after this message.
There's a lot of reasons you want to ride with Uniroyal Laredo. Out here, you never know what you're going to run into. Uniroyal Laredo, the tire that tamed the Wild West and still the best.
The score tied at 2. These two teams in regular season play and in playoff activity have met 14 times. They're tied at 7, and the number of goals is 57 to 54. So there's very little to choose between these two teams, and it's evident on the scoreboard tonight.
Well, Dave Taylor, who's the elder statesman of the LA Kings, 12th years with the Kings, 9 in the playoffs, and in 41 playoff games coming into tonight, he has scored 35 points. Robbie Fatorik in a nice new sweater tonight told me this morning at practice that it was the LA Kings' patience and their ability to shut down Edmonton's flow through the neutral zone that were the two most important keys to their win in Game 6.
I also asked Fatorik this morning if he had any superstition about what sweater he was going to wear at a game. He said no, none at all. Messier manages to keep it in against Gretzky. Messier goes in back of the net, looking out front, tried to center it, and it was broken up by Tim Waters. Waters having some problems getting out of there. The puck bounces to Duguay, and he clears the zone.
Well, there was a little example of some forechecking. We saw very little of that on behalf of Edmonton on Thursday night, and they pinched their defenseman and put some pressure on the poor puck-handling defense corps of the LA Kings.
DeGray, rink wide, looking for Gretzky. Too far for him, and Randy Gregg is back after it. To Steve Smith. To Messier. 16-13 left in the period. Simpson takes a check from Weimer, and he was sent flying as he was looking for Anderson, breaking in on the right side. Steve Smith gets it to Simpson. He scored the tying goal on the power play. Marty McSorley in across the line, long shot. Fuhr stops that one, and Steve Smith has the puck. He moves it up along the boards to Anderson. He went rink wide, and it's forced back into the Edmonton zone. Smith left it there on the boards for Gregg. He nudges it ahead to Kevin McClellan. He winds up, long shot. That's steered to the boards by Rudy, and it's picked up by McSorley in his own zone. He leaves it along the boards to Gray, can't get out, and then it is dumped out into center ice. Kevin Lowe over on the right side for Messier. Messier taken in against the boards and held there by Weimer. Simpson comes in, gets that loose puck, spins around, takes a shot, it goes off a stick. Craig Muni racing in from the point, centering it. That's knocked away by Rudy. Krushelnyski is spun down back of the goal. The puck goes loose. Gretzky along the boards, gets it ahead to McSorley. McSorley circling in his own zone. The Oilers very aggressive, Harry, as you said, with their forechecking.
Well, they just have to be careful if they're going to pinch their defenseman against Gretzky or Nichols' line, that a forward is in position to back them up. You don't want to give those guys an outman situation in your own zone.
Score tied at 2, 14:42 remaining in the second period. Gretzky's rink-wide pass intercepted by Tikkanen. He fires it into the Los Angeles zone. Nichols dumped it out. Back comes Tikkanen. And it's offside as Curry was trapped in across the blue line. 2-2 the score. 14:28 left in the second.
Hi, Scott. My name is Sandy. I'm Judy's friend from LA. I'm downstairs and I thought I'd give you a call.
Great. Why don't you come on up?
Great, bye.
Bye. Sorry, guys.
Are you up for it?
Come on.
Are you up for it? Are you up
Hi, Scott. Sandy.
7 up.
Sandy.
7 up.
We announced earlier that Kevin Lowe was celebrating his 30th birthday today. The owner of the Los Angeles Kings, Bruce McNall, is celebrating his 39th. Which one will remember this one best? That's the question.
Well, they'll both remember them, Don. One fondly and one not so fondly.
Taylor dumps it in. Charlie Huddy back of the goal. Picking up speed as he hits the line. He led the Oilers during regular season play in goals for a defenseman. That one is fired wide by Tikkanen. The net is knocked off its moorings, and the resulting whistle creates a stoppage in play.
Well, Esa Tikkanen is one player, one goal in the 6 games he's played. That's not good enough if you're going to get past a team that's well-equipped as the Los Angeles Kings are. And here was a great opportunity that he'd usually bury. I don't know whether he's pressing a little bit or that puck was rolling a little bit, but he had Rudy at his mercy and couldn't put it in. In 11 playoff games total for this fella, he has scored 7 goals. So he ought to be scoring 1 every 2 games. He's not going at that pace in this round.
1913, the shots on goal. The Los Angeles Kings have the edge. Each side has scored a power play goal. Contos for Los Angeles, Simpson for Edmonton. Curry keeps it in. Tikkanen back of the net, trying to get away from DeGray. He's knocked down by the Los Angeles defenseman. McTavish gets in there as well, and he is sent flying. The puck comes up to Tim Waters.
One thing the LA Kings did much better in game number 6 than they did it in any of the games before was a better job at the defensive zone coverage. That is taking the men out when they have possession of the puck in your zone.
Curry with a shot. He just misses the far corner. Messier plays it back of the net. Nobody there for Edmonton, and the puck comes out to Taylor. He has Nichols with him. Robitaille trying to catch up on the play. Taylor is taken in against the boards. And Robitaille is bumped. Taylor manages to come up with it. Taylor and Smith battling. It comes out to Nichols. He scores!
Well, you can thank Dave Taylor for that one. Boy, he fought off 2 or 3 Oilers and found Nichols, and Craig Simpson got caught watching the game instead of looking around to see if there was a guy in the wrong color. And you can see him there. It's too late for him to get at it, as Bernie Nichols got 70 goals during the season. You give him a shot from there, and he's usually going to put it in. Dave Taylor did all the work. Bernie Nichols gets all the glory.
for Bernie Nichols, his third goal of the playoffs and a 3-2 Los Angeles lead. Simpson is hit in the neutral zone. Krushelnyski stepped into him. There's a blast by McSorley that Fuhrer had to stretch a leg on and kick out. Steve Smith in his own zone. He goes rink wide, picked up by Anderson. Anderson looking to the front of the net, takes a shot. The net is knocked off its supports as Rudy got it up high and it deflected out front. 12:34 remains in the second. The Kings lead by 1.
When it comes to tough performance, no one can top the trucks that are built Ford tough.
Go with the leader.
Ford leads Chevy with a longer, wider, deeper box that carries more maximum payload than Chevy.
Go with the leader.
And it's features like these that have made F-Series the best-selling full-size pickups in Canada.
Go with the leader.
During April Truck Month, save up to $2,743 with value package savings and $500 cash back on manual models.
Bernie Nichols and his line mates, Dave Taylor and Luke Robitaille, came to life Thursday night in Edmonton. And they're still alive here tonight in L.A. Fuhrer got a bit of that puck, but not much of it. And you saw 4 Oilers there, Don, with only 3 Kings. And the 4 Oilers didn't do much with the 3 Kings because Nichols had way too much time in a premier scoring spot in the rink.
And it is Nichols from Taylor and Robitaille at 6:51. Go-ahead goal for the Los Angeles Kings. Well, regardless of what happens tonight at the Forum, whether the Kings win or the Oilers win, the Spice Division Final opens on Tuesday night at the Saddle Dome in Calgary. Messier to Lowe, a shot. That's blocked. They score! Initially blocked and deflected. And Kevin Lowe ties it at 3.
Presented himself with a lovely birthday present today on his 30th as he came in as the 4th defenseman on a rush. And the Kings are all right until the 4th guy shows up. And then they, of course, can't handle him. And Lowe got a little luck there as his initial reshot rebounded right back to him. But look at how far in the clear he is. McSorley had no hope whatsoever but to try and block the shot. But the Kings forgot to check for the late man, and it cost them a goal.
The assist to number 11, Mark Messier.
Messier draws 1 assist on the goal, and back comes Los Angeles. It's just deflected wide as Duchesne let it go from the net. Messier and Craig Muni draw assists. Curry with a shot. That goes back to the net. Curry trying to center it. Couldn't get it out front. Kept in at the point. Shot by Huddy, knocked down. Picked up in his own zone by Allison.
Well, it looks like Glenn Sather has won in the battle of matchups. Torek tried hard for the first 10 minutes to keep Gretzky away from Messier.
Tonelli is knocked down by Huddy, but he continues on. Back of the goal. The battle for the puck continues. Gretzky comes in. He was unable to dig it out. The Oilers come up with it. Tikkanen breaking out with Huddy. Tikkanen puts it into the corner. There's an injured Edmonton Oiler. Steve Smith.
I believe. And that happened away behind the play in a collision with John Tonelli. The puck was well out of the zone, and those 2 fellows had collided. Tonelli got up, and Smith didn't. I wonder whether he hurt his shoulder when he fell. He's back, it's Jeff Bukaboom, who's playing his first playoff game of the series, replacing Doug Hallward, and hasn't played a lot tonight. John Tonelli is in the penalty box. The linesman, who would be the only official that could have seen it, would have had to make the call. And he can only call high sticks. So Tonelli could get 5 and be gone if Bukaboom's cut.
When it's right for friends to play, there's a place to cook the day away. Fire it up, get ready, try something new. We're talking king of the grill, born to barbecue. It's the Silver Bullet, the right beer now, the right time, the right beer. Coors Light, the light, bright taste, Coors Light. Hold on to the silver bullet. It's the right thing now.
Time of the penalty, 8:51.
Boy, John Tonelli's breathing a sigh of relief now. He only got 2 minutes for high sticking as Bukaboom was not cut. Had he been cut, it would have been 5 in a game, and Tonelli's been a positive factor for the LA Kings tonight.
Face off in the Los Angeles zone. Last time on the power play, the Oilers were successful with Craig Simpson getting the goal. Lead pass to Yari Curry. Messier catching up with the play. The two of them cross into the slot area for Simpson. Simpson leaves it there for Messier. Simpson in front of the net. Messier drops it off to Curry. Simpson is still trying to maintain position in front of the net. Here's a shot from the point by Smith. And that is steered to the corner. Now the battle behind the Los Angeles goal. Curry comes up with it. Back to the line to Smith. He lets it go. It's deflected to the corner. Casper along the boards trying to move it against Huddy. Huddy pinched in, and then Messier tried to get it back to the line to Smith, and he had problems handling it. Along the boards, it's picked up by the Los Angeles Kings, and they fire at the length of the ice.
Edmonton power play controlled the puck well. They had 2-point shots, and they had some people in front. And they haven't had enough people in front from blue line shots for most of this series.
Carson gets it back to the line to Randy Gregg. To Carson. Carson to the point to Gregg, over to Kevin Lowe. Lowe over to Randy Gregg. He lets the shot go. Rudy makes the save. 22 seconds remaining in the penalty to Tonelli. Gregg keeps it in at the line, into the slot to Carson. Carson slides it over to Curry. Back to the point to Randy Gregg. His shot doesn't get through. He gets it again. Another shot. That's fired wide. Takinen. Looking to Randy Gregg, who is racing in from the point. The pass doesn't get there. And Los Angeles at full strength. Tonelli out of the penalty box. He takes the pass, but he was offside. Now we've got some shoving in the corner involving Nichols and Tikkanen. That comes with 9:03 remaining in the second.
Been in the seventh game before. 76, they lost to Don Cherry and the Boston Bruins. 69, they won 9-4 against the Oakland Seals.
3-3 here at the Forum. 9:03 remaining in this second period. Dean Kennedy moves it over to the other side. It's dumped out into the center ice area, and back after it is Charlie Huddy. Off the boards for Curry. For Tikkanen. Long shot wide. McTavish puts it back to the goal. 8:41 remaining in the second period as it's dumped down the ice. This will be an icing call against Los Angeles. As they bring the puck back into the Los Angeles zone. Chris, tell us about what will be happening on Hockey Night in Canada next week.
Don, we have to remind everybody this is just the first round. On Monday, we'll start the Adams Division Final, Boston at Montreal at the Forum. And on Tuesday, the Smythe Final will begin at the Olympic Saddle Dome as the Flames host either the Oilers or the Kings.
And we congratulate Cliff Fletcher, Terry Crisp, and the Calgary Flame organization on their Grueling victory over the Vancouver Canucks, and Pat Quinn and the Canucks deserve a lot of credit for the fine job they did in the first round of the playoffs. Disappointing, of course, to lose in overtime. And the Flames will host either the Oilers or the Kings. From the face-off, a shot right on. Tikkanen with another shot, and Rudy makes the save.
Well, Esa Tikkanen got good wood on that. And one thing the Oilers are doing is they're sending a lot more traffic in front of Rudy tonight than they did in Game 6. They're hoping for a screenshot like that one, or a rebound almost like that one, or a tip-in. Look at all those blue shirts going to the front of the goal. Right here. Not only does it distract the goalies, but then he has to make the stop and handle the puck quickly for no rebound. But Kelly Rudy has had a fancy record going here at the Great Western Forum.
Messier in the face-off circle. Throughout this series, the Oilers have dominated in the face-off circle.
Mark Messier is one of the best in the league. And the Oilers put the winger in, Mike Allison, to take face-off.
Craig Simpson leaves it in the corner for Messier. He knocks Allison down. Anderson comes up with the puck, takes a shot. Rudy out of his net to play it. Rudy goes down. The puck is loose, and it comes into the slot area, but it's gathered in there by Tim Waters. He moves it up on the right side for Krushelnyski. Krushelnyski trying to go around, Huddy out front, and it's fired wide.
Mike Allison's had 3 chances like that and missed on every one of them.
Now Krushelnyski in across the line again. This time he's knocked down by Kevin Lowe, and it's picked up by Craig Muni. Muni unable to clear. Bernie Nichols has it. He takes a shot wide of the net. Kept in at the line by Weimer. He gets another opportunity to dump it back to the net. Robitaille can't get away from Lowe. McSorley back to the line. Weimer with a shot. That hits a leg, and back comes Kevin McClellan. McClellan takes a shot, steered to the corner. Normand Lacombe bumped in against the boards. McClellan comes up with it, takes a shot up high on Rudy. Carson spins around, lets it go, and that's deflected up into the crowd by the Los Angeles goaltender. 7:01 remains in the second with the score tied.
This is a research laboratory. It tries and fails to make Castrol motor oil break down. It's the place where Castrol is torture tested to meet the requirements of those who punish motor oil the most. You. The everyday Canadian driver. Castrol XLR, the oil engineered for today's cars.
Well, here's what's gone on in the playoffs between these two teams in the past. The first one a best of 5, the second one a best of 5, and this one a best of 7, and this one undecided. The Oilers were outshot 16-8, and I thought badly outplayed in period 1, but they've outshot the Kings 13-6 and have dominated them this period, and the score is 3-3 with 7 minutes to go.
Kevin Lowe takes a shot. It deflects off a stick to the corner. McTavish back of the net looking for Tikkanen. He's tied up. Moved up along the boards. Craig Muni raced back to cover for his defensive partner, Kevin Lowe, who had pinched in. As the puck is flipped down the ice, it goes into the Los Angeles King players' box.
Kevin Lowe, boy, his panic level is very rarely reached. He seems to know when he can make a play and when he can't. And there's his playoff record. And on that play just then, let that be a lesson to a defenseman. There's not always a good play in your own end when you get the puck, when you're being forechecked. And sometimes you have to take advantage of the fact that you know that and get it out into the neutral zone. Lowe did that, got a rest. Now there's a face-off. Get a fresh line out there. You can get your bearings again. A lot of young defensemen are trying to throw it through somebody's legs and compound the trouble they're already in.
Well, most of the Oilers had not shaven since the start of the playoffs, but after they lost 2 in a row, including that loss Thursday night at Northlands Coliseum, they decided to shave.
Think it makes any difference, Tom?
I really don't think so, but it's become a playoff tradition with the Edmonton Oilers. Now Bernie Nichols and Lowe bump again along the boards. Several others get involved, including Dave Taylor and Craig Muni.
Well, there's a lot more bitterness tonight than in Game 6. And I don't think you can blame either team. They're both tense. They're both worried about whether the season ends tonight. And they're both not too interested in taking any guff from anyone. And Andy Van Hellemond has been but a champion so far tonight, keeping this game under control and not making many calls on marginal penalties. And that's why the players like him so much in a critical game. There are the two linemen, Finn and Mitten, explaining something to Craig McTavish. Glenn Sather was a little uptight himself by his standards before tonight's game, but who wouldn't be?
A little surprised at Sather in his attire tonight, wearing silver and black. Those are the colors of the Los Angeles Kings. That officiating crew, 51 years of experience, and Harry, you said earlier, and I harken back to that comment, both coaches were happy to see the linesman and referee that were assigned to this game.
Sather looks stupid in an orange and blue suit.
Kennedy looking for McSorley, too far for him, and it slides back into the Edmonton zone. An icing call against the Kings with 6:23 left in the period.
You might get an orange and blue suit if you went to one of the Don Cherry's tag sales. Randy Gregg, steady, unspectacular, and usually very efficient. And I think he's one of those hockey players that you have to watch play a lot of games to learn to appreciate him, because he doesn't grab that puck and dance up the ice with it. But he's another Oiler who make you beat him. He rarely beats himself. And that's the big edge the Oilers have in this series and in this game. It's a little over halfway over.
Lead pass intended for Krushelnyski, intercepted by Messier. Anderson gets it to Simpson to Messier. Messier has it knocked away from him by Kennedy. Messier taken in against the boards, the puck back to the net. Anderson centered it. Simpson tried for the deflection, but he was tied up by Steve Duchesne. Kings having some problems getting out of their own zone. Now it comes ahead to Krushelnyski. Krushelnyski for Kasper. Kasper upset by Randy Gregg, and Messier is back to pick it up for Edmonton. Leave it there for Gregg. Over to Simpson. Ahead to Anderson. Anderson dumps it in. Rudy is forced to make the save. He was looking to play it ahead to Krushelnyski, trying to catch the Oilers on the change, but he missed him. 5:25 remaining in the period. Here comes Curry. He tried to bang it off the boards, intercepted by the Kings, and Gretzky works in against Huddy, puts on the brakes, drops it for McSorley. McSorley going back to the net and driving for the net was Krushelnyski, and the net is knocked off its moorings.
And they're going to give Jeff Bukovom an interference penalty because he ran Krushelnyski into the net. And that's what knocked it off.
So the Kings will have a power play with 5:12 left in the second.
Some things in life you just can't forget. This is another. Demons.
Jeff Bukovom gets an interference penalty to give the LA Kings a power play advantage with 5:12 left in the 3-3 game here in the second period. The pipes that hold the nets have been damaged, and they are trying to repair them quickly now. The nets here at the Forum seem to come off a little easier than they do at most rinks.
They seem
See,
to be
that's
having
still rocking there. A hard shot the wind off a hard shot may knock it off. Grant Fuhr knows it. There. He's just deciding how hard he has to push it in a mad scramble to get it off its mooring. If the goalie does push it off, they call him for a delay of the game. If he pushes it off in the last 2 minutes of the game and they can't serve the 2-minute penalty, they give a penalty shot. This guy's looking up to see if he can see right around to the other side and talk to his buddy.
Don, we've mentioned that there have been 5 comebacks from 3-1 deficits in Stanley Cup history. There they are, 3 in the last 2 years. And the last one was a year ago at the Capitol Center in Landover, Maryland. Dale Hunter, the scoring hero in overtime for the Caps against Ron Hextall of the Flyers, although Philadelphia got their revenge this season.
Well, in the one before that, Kelly Rudy was the architect of the come from behind in that 4 overtime special. When he had 73 shots at him, Pat LaFontaine scored to beat the Washington Capitals. With 5:12 left, it's a little too long to add on to the third period. There's Jack Nicholson taking a look at you and I, Don, making sure we're doing our job. He's a great LA Laker fan, and like a lot of sports fans around Los Angeles, he has become a King fan. And I am a Jack Nicholson fan.
Maybe he's going to try and put a Witches of Eastwick hex on the Edmonton Oilers. Sylvester Stallone is also in attendance, as he was at the last game.
And that's Frank Stallone, not on the right. That's not Frank. On Sylvester's right. Sylvester showing that he has good taste in clothes and in dates.
Well, there are a number of late blooming celebrity-aholics here at the Forum for this game. In addition to Stallone and Jack Nicholson, Tom Hanks is a regular. He has season tickets. John Candy has season tickets. Donald Sutherland is here. Kathleen Turner is also here. Tim Hutton and Magic Johnson, who is a season ticket holder of the LA Kings.
Magic Johnson, even before Wayne Gretzky came here, really was an admirer of Mr. Gretzky. John Candy's a big person. I saw 2 policemen outside the rink this morning come up to him and tell him to break it up.
Well, we're about set to go. The problems with that Edmonton net have been rectified. The Los Angeles Kings with a power play. Casper gets it back to the line to Nichols. Tried to dump it into the corner. It was deflected away, and Messier starts back. Messier's pass broken up at the blue line. Condos slides it back into his own zone to Duchesne. On the right side for John Tonelli. Tonelli to Nichols, a shot. Grant Fuhr got a piece of that one. Duchesne and Nichols are back on the point. Condos trying to get it loose to Gretzky, out to Taylor, or to Tonelli, a shot, and the save is made by Grant Fuhr. And Condos is protesting that it was in the net.
They are complaining bitterly that that puck went in the net. And this is a tough call. The linesmen are now going to help Van Helleman, who didn't see it. Condos says they're going to call it a goal. The goal judge, I don't think, turned the light on, did he?
I didn't see the light come on. The off-ice officials tonight are from Vancouver.
Boy, oh boy. We need the replay for debatable goals in the National League on the referee's request in the playoffs. You wouldn't want some team to get knocked out because the 3 officials couldn't see it. On that replay, it was impossible to see. Now, Andy Van Helleman's going to the penalty box to phone the goal judge and talk to him on the telephone right here. Did it go in? Are you sure? Why didn't you turn the light on if it went in? There's Gretzky. He's upset about it. It was a hard shot. I thought it got behind Fuhr, He's saying phone upstairs. They've seen it up there, but you can't do that. That should be what you can do if you're in doubt, as Van Helleman is. But if he doesn't know, Don, he cannot call it a goal because somebody else tells him it went in. Let's have a look at it here. Here's a shot from behind the net. And I don't know, it hit the crossbar, but oh boy, it went in. It hit the back crossbar. That was a great shot by our cameraman. That hit the back crossbar and came out. It always amazes me. We can send people to the moon, but we can't make nets that don't let pucks out. Now, the LA bench has seen that replay, the Cap Raider in the press box, and it's called down to the bench to say it was in. And they run out and are telling Andy that the replay show was in. And Andy says, I can't call it, Wayne. It's not that I don't trust you, but one of the three of us has to see it go in, or the goal judge. If we don't, we cannot call it a goal.
I think I agree totally, Harry, with your assessment. At playoff time, there should be instant replays on any questionable goal. Not for penalty calls, but goals.
And only when the referee asks for it. You don't let the teams ask for it. And they don't need special cameras. They just use the one they've got. If they've got 6 or 8 the way we have, we're apt to find it. They've only got one and find it good. If they don't find it, then the referee has to say it's no goal.
Bernie Nichols in across the line to Tonelli. He'll try again. Takes the shot. This time, Fuhr gloves it and hangs on. And he isn't happy with the swipe that Tonelli took at his glove hand either.
Well, don't forget the LA Kings had a goal called back against them in Game 6 and rallied from that little disappointment to bury the Oilers. Now there is the slap at the puck, but I don't think that Fuhr had it completely.
And on the play, Craig Muni was given a penalty, a holding call, so for 53 seconds, the Kings will have a 2-man advantage.
Well, Muni was holding the LA forward who was going to the net. He had nothing to do with Tonelli. My guess is he had a hold of his stick. Well, here's a great opportunity for the Kings to turn the adversity of getting robbed of a goal into 1 or maybe 2. They have 53 seconds left in penalty to number 6, Jeff Bukaboom, and the full 2 minutes to Muni.
Well, Robbie Fatorik told me after Game 6 in Edmonton that he told his players not to be upset by that disallowed goal that was knocked into the net by Tikkanen and to build on it. Now we have...
Van Helleman won't let Messier change, and Messier's trying to convince him his stick is broken. And Van Helleman said it wasn't. And Messier showed him by leaning on it, and I think he broke it while he was giving him the demonstration. This is the stall. This is the stall because they've killed 1 minute and 7 seconds of the penalty, the original penalty to Bukaboom. And of course, Sather wants his best and freshest 3 skaters out there. The Kings also get a chance to rest. It's debatable who that favors.
Just 4:05 remaining in the period. A 2-man advantage for 53 seconds for the Los Angeles Kings. Many of this capacity crowd in the Forum standing. It comes back to Gretzky. Gretzky to Kasper. Back to the line to Duchesne. Over to Kasper. Fakes the shot to Duchesne. To Kasper, moving in. Trying to slide it in front of the net. And it was broken up by Messier.
I see Chris Kontos, the leading scorer in this round.
They score!
Well, not only did they score to make it 4-3, they scored before the first penalty elapsed. So they're going to get another minute and 32 to add to the lead. But look at this pass by Gretzky. Feathered it in to Nichols, and Nichols, while he was falling over Fuhr, put it in. A very similar pass to the one that Gretzky gave Contos, I think it was, in Edmonton on Thursday night.
The second of the night for Bernie Nichols. The power play goal from Gretzky at 16:03 for a 4-3 Los Angeles lead. Still 1:19 remaining in the penalty to Craig Muni. Steve Smith pinned in against the boards. Gretzky tried to slide it out front for Bernie Nichols, and it was just behind him.
Bernie Nichols left the point a step too soon, or he'd have got a pass and been in alone.
Kados for Gretzky. He has to circle to get away from a check. Forced back by Tikkanen. Now he leaves it for Duchesne. 48 seconds remaining in the penalty. Stolen by Tikkanen. And Tikkanen kills off some time. He tried to throw it back into his own zone. And he almost had it stolen away by Robitaille.
The Kings don't want to shoot it in, and the Oilers are lining up at the blue line, forcing them to shoot it in or try and beat somebody at the blue line.
Gretzky tried to slip it back to the blue line. It was broken up by Tikkanen. Here comes Nichols. Nichols moving into the slot. Over for Krushelnyski, and his shot is blocked by Kevin Lowe. 13 seconds remaining in the penalty. Curry moves back to the line, dumps it behind the goal for Messier out front, and racing in was Charlie Huddy. He failed to deflect it. Here's a 2-on-1. Gretzky takes the shot, and it's deflected out of play.
Again, Wayne Gretzky elects to shoot on the 2-on-1 instead of pass. If he had Yari Curry like he had for 10 years in Edmonton, he would have passed it. You knew he was going to pass it then, but he's made that little change in the strategy. Here's the 99 factor. If you're a businessman, these kind of numbers are interesting, are they not? If you play with them, you become a better hockey player. If you watch them, you become a better fan. And I was absolutely thrilled this morning to see how excited he was. Here's the shot on the 2-on-1. It's deflected off the defenseman's pads over the net. He was very excited this morning at the AM skate about the possibility of eliminating the Oilers tonight. His smile, the sparkle in his eyes, reminded you of your little children the night before Christmas as they're talking about and anticipating Santa's arrival. It was really a beautiful sight to me to see the pro sports truest superstar so excited about a hockey game, and that's one of the reasons he separates himself from many a good athlete.
And you know, Harry, I don't really think that we will fully appreciate just what a talent he is until he is no longer playing the game.
That day's never going to come. Don't tell me that.
Duguay dumps it in. 1:43 is the time left in the period. Kevin Lowe dumps it back of the goal. 4-3. Los Angeles leading. Pass intercepted. Kasper plays it into the corner. Two players continuing the battle there as they did earlier. Tonelli involved with Kevin Lowe. They're still trying to dig it out. Kasper is in there again. The puck does come loose. Kevin Lowe moves it up along the boards. Simpson to Anderson. Back to Simpson. Simpson cutting for the net. Backhander. Rudy makes the save. Another shot, and Rudy got that one down on his back. He shot up that glove hand to take away what appeared to be a sure goal.
Well, Simpson made a great play cutting in from a bad angle. Missed on the initial chance. The puck came back to him. He had Rudy sitting down, and he tries to put it up over him. What's Ron Duguay doing? I don't know this one, but look at this. Has time to turn around. Rudy can't get up, and Rudy has his hand up like he's wanting to go out. You know, like you put your hand up in school to go to the washroom. That's what the pose Rudy was in, and he stops it with his glove. Boy, when you add McLean, Vernon, Fuhr, and Rudy, we've seen some tremendous goaltending from all four of those great goaltenders tonight.
You may wonder about that bandana that is tied around Rudy's forehead with the ends hanging out underneath his helmet. He does that because he wears contact lenses and he doesn't want the perspiration running down into his eyes. Gretzky in his own zone, 50 seconds remaining, unable to get it out. Now it comes out front, and that quick shot by Curry is off his skates, and a whistle on the play. A penalty coming up here, a holding call against the Los Angeles Kings. Bernie Nichols is going off.
What do we do for an encore after tonight? Well, Monday we'll be at the Forum in Montreal for Game 1 of the Adams Division Final. Boston and Montreal. Tuesday, the Smythe Division Final begins from the Olympic Saddledome. Calgary against either the Oilers or the Kings.
Bernie Nichols has scored 2, but now he's in the penalty box with 42 seconds remaining in the second period.
There's the penalty right here. Number 9, Nichols. Right there. Grabs the Oiler player from behind and gets a penalty. Now, this series hasn't been any tougher than any other 7-game series, but you realize the Edmonton Oilers have traveled 8,500 miles to play these games. This LA to Edmonton trip is no little short hop. It is around 1,700 miles. You do that 3 times in a week and add 7 games in 11 days, you can't possibly be anything but tired.
Taken on. Randy Gregg into Jari Kurri. It bounced away from him. Now taken it out to Smith. Fires it wide. Picked up by the Kings in their own zone with 17 seconds remaining in the period. And they dump it down the ice. Smith back after it. The Oilers lead pass for Kurri. Saved by Rudy. He's made some spectacular saves again tonight, as he did in Game 5 and Game 6.
Kelly Rudy robs Jari Kurri with 4 seconds left in the period. The score is 4-3, and the Oilers will have a power play for 1 minute and 18 seconds of period 3.
This is what happened in period 2 on the power play. Craig Simpson tied it up. Then Bernie Nichols put Los Angeles ahead from Taylor and Robitaille at 6:51. Kevin Lowe's first goal at 7:48 tied it again at 3, but then another power play goal with a 2-man advantage. Bernie Nichols, his second of the night, and that made it 4-3. That's the way it stands. The Oilers have a slight edge, out shooting the Kings 24-23 through 40 minutes of play. And so the score after 2 periods in Los Angeles, 4-3 for the Kings.
On what has already been the most memorable night of the '89 Stanley Cup playoffs, no early resolution in sight in this Smythe Division semifinal. Kings lead 4-3. Well, what do you get the guy that has everything for his birthday? That's usually a dilemma, but for Oilers or for Kings owner Bruce McNall, I think there's only one thing you could have for your birthday tonight.
Yes, I'll take a win real quick here. I'm afraid this is it's been quite a game so far.
How you holding out? Craig Simpson and Kevin Lowe scoring for the Oilers. Bernie Nichols had a pair for the Kings, who lead 4-3 after 2 periods of play. The winner of this game will meet the Calgary Flames in the Smythe Division Final. Flames and their fans breathing a little easier right now after that dramatic overtime win. With more, Ron McLean.
Thank you, Chris. It was a terrific game at the Saddledome indeed. It took 40 minutes to get 4-3 in LA, close to 80 minutes to come to that result here in Calgary, and this was the game winner. Joel Otto's 3rd goal of the Stanley Cup playoffs off a skate from Poplinski, and the Flames win the series and the game by 1. The shots on goal were 46-45 in this affair, and of the 91, it was great goaltending on the behalf of McLean and Vernon in this affair, and the final shot for Joel Otto was the one that sent the Flames into a series that will feature either the Kings or the Oilers. Without doubt, Mike Vernon was a star in overtime tonight, and he is now standing by in the Flames locker room with Steve Armitage.
Ron, I'm with Mike Vernon. Mike, congratulations on an outstanding game.
Thank you. It's it was one of those games where the boys had just dug a lot deeper and deeper, and I think that the guys in this dressing room deserve a heck of a lot of congratulations. They dug down very deep. They kept on going, and we get ahead, and Vancouver seemed to come back and get one. But the guys didn't lay down. They kept at it, and this club deserves a lot of congratulations and a good pat in the back.
Mike, you looked so cool in that overtime period. It looked like you were picking cherries.
Well, there was a save in in overtime on Skriko where I just had to dive across, but I was having fun out there. I was enjoying myself, and that's what it comes down to. And the guys, they dug deep, but we just needed a couple big saves from a goaltender, and fortunately I was there for the club.
Mike Vernon, congratulations on an outstanding game. Ron, back to you.
Calgary Flames and Vancouver Canucks had gone to overtime 4 times previously in their history. Each team had won twice, so the Flames have the edge, and it was the second longest overtime in the club's history. They win the series 4-3 on the strength of a 1-goal win tonight.
Wayne Gretzky's remarkable career has been filled with memories, but few can top the moments 99 provided in the 88 postseason. That classic performance tonight on Ford's Great Moments in Hockey.
Just out of sight. The 1989 Ford Probe GT.
It's the Oilers, and after 40 minutes...
Saddledome in Calgary, Bob McCammon, the head coach of the Vancouver Canucks, whose club is felled by 1 goal in one of the finest deciding games I can remember. How do you feel?
Well, not too good, but as I told the team after the game, we've made a lot of progress in 1 year, and I think, we could be a team of the future. The players you feel bad for are the Snepses and the Smeals who haven't got that many kicks at the can left. And we felt if we could beat Calgary, we were legitimate. We think we're a pretty good hockey team, and we thought we could play LA or Edmonton even, and going into the conference, we had a great chance. But those things, hockey's a game of seconds and inches, and we were a few seconds short tonight.
I really felt Smeal was heroic for you tonight.
He played unbelievable, and he's done it all throughout the series. Physically, he hasn't scored any goals, but physically, he's done a great job, and that's why I was really hoping on the breakaway could end it, and what a great goal that would have been for him.
Bob, you have had quite a career in hockey. How does this rate in terms of experiences for you?
Well, it's not a great experience. As I say, the thing you feel good about is a team that's kind of been thrown together. Pat Quinn and Brian Burke have done an outstanding job rebuilding the hockey team. It's really sad when you lose, but you have to look at both ends of the spectrum. We're a much better hockey team. We gained a lot of respect the last half of the season and in this playoff, and that should build us for the future. We should be a better hockey team next year, and hopefully better results come playoff time.
Easy for you to look ahead and in the mirror tomorrow.
Yeah, it sure is. If you don't get any chances, if the team doesn't show up to play, it's an embarrassment. You feel bad all summer. But when they play that hard, you don't feel like you really lose. You just feel like you didn't get the breaks. And it's, as I say, a tribute to the hockey team and a lot of players that gave out a great effort over the 7-game series.
Our thanks to Bob McCammon, head coach of the Vancouver Canucks. Now let's return to the Forum and Don Whitman.
Thanks, Ron, and we're 20 minutes away from determining a Smythe Division opponent for the Calgary Flames. The Los Angeles Kings leading by a score of 4-3.